Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Laura Wilkerson with Dementia Care Academy and Advanced Medical House Calls. So last week we discussed Parkinson's disease and what Parkinson's disease was and how you could keep your person as independent as you can possibly keep them. So this week we're following that conversation up with those things that are useful in helping maintain independence in your person. So just because they have Parkinson's disease doesn't mean that you have to do everything for them. They can do a lot of things by themselves. But like I said last week, there are times when there are episodes where things might not be going so well for them. So what can you do to help them maintain their independence without destroying their dignity? So we're going to start in the kitchen. So some things that you can do to help them maintain independence in the kitchen is you can buy these great plate guards that you put that basically fit around any type of plate, and you put this almost like a Rubbermaid feel to it. Plate guard around the outside of the plate so that when your person is eating, if they don't have that like stabbing motion that they can do anymore, they can scoop their food to the guard on the plate and then take it to their mouth. That's one thing that you can use. Handmade, tailor-made cutlery for their hand. Now that's a little bit more expensive than purchasing, let's say, weighted utensils. When a patient or your loved one with Parkinson's has tremors, using weighted utensils to kind of stop that tremor just by adding that little bit of weight to their hand will help them stop the tremor and be able to use their utensils a little bit better. Also, they make some great utensils that I've seen in my journeys out there in the field that go over the hand, sort of like a little bar, but it's actually not a bar. It just kind of fits over the hand, and it helps them hold their utensil a little bit better. So you can get those fitted utensils that go over their hand that will help them hold their utensil as opposed to them trying to hold a utensil like they would normally hold a utensil. Recently, I saw some great drink covers. I'm not sure where this person got these covers, but I will find out for you all because they're not like a child's drink cover, because the last thing we want to do is take away their dignity, right? So we don't want to give them like a sippy cup. They don't need a sippy cup. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining me. Mike says that plate guards are wonderful. So clearly you've had some experience with plate guards. I would agree. Plate guards are a wonderful thing. These drink covers that I saw this lady using for her husband almost look like a balloon that you would use for children to have a water balloon fight with. So she stretched this over the cup and put her straw through the top of the cup for her husband. And it actually worked really, really well because it wasn't, like I said, like a child sippy cup. They don't need a child sippy cup. You need to help them maintain their dignity. She also had this really cool straw. I've never even heard of it. It was a one-way straw. She showed me the clip that it came with. So if you didn't want to use the cup cover, if your person didn't have the shakes, but if you didn't want to use the cover, you could use this little self clip. So the clip to the straw and that clip then clip to the side of the cup. So if they did get a little bit shaky, that the straw wouldn't be moving all around, that they could just kind of take it to their mouth. So in the kitchen, I think those are some great things that you can use to help your person keep their clothing clean. You might want to use either a clothing cover. I tend not to like to call them bibs around. If you're working in an assisted living facility, please try not to call them a bib. Call it a clothing cover. I've seen some great handmade ones. I've also seen some really cool self-adhesive ones that people can use. So kind of peel off the back, stick it here, and then it kind of just, hangs to cover the front of their clothes, and you can toss that away when they're done with it. Great, because you don't have to wash them. They're not messy. You don't forget about them. Let's move on to the bathroom. In the bathroom, my suggestion for your person, if they're still capable of shaving, buy them an electric razor. Obviously, we don't want them using, a razor like this in case they get the shakes. We don't want them to inadvertently cut themselves. So electric razors are great for those people with Parkinson's who might not have a steady hand. Personally, I think electric razors are what most men, when they become aged and their fine finger movement goes, they should probably be using those anyway. I've seen some really great adaptive foam put on hairbrushes, combs with long handles, razors if they're still using a straight razor. Just like it looks like a noodle, like a pool noodle. And that little foam tubing goes on their toothbrush or on their hairbrush or comb to help them, give them a little bit of substance to their grip. So you can put that on those items. Also, definitely slip mats in your shower or in your tub, along with grab bars to help them maneuver in and out of the bathtub or in and out of the shower, or even helping themselves get up from the toilet are great things that you can add to help keep your person independent. Another great thing for the bathroom is if you can get your person a foot spa. Oftentimes people with Parkinson's will complain about their feet going numb or their feet feeling on the numb side or tingly or really super heavy. So getting them a foot spa is a really nice thing that you can do for them to help keep their feet from feeling that pain or from feeling that heaviness in their feet. Same thing goes with like a foot massager. You just want to be careful because if they've lost sensation in their feet, you want to make sure that water temperature is just right, and you want to make sure that the foot massager hasn't locked up on their foot, because I've had that happen to myself before. I thought, oh, this is great, and put my foot inside the massager, and all of a sudden the two balls got locked into place and just started grinding as opposed to rotating like they were supposed to. And it put me in a lot of misery. Funny episode, but wouldn't be so funny for me, but it wouldn't be so funny for your loved one if you were trying to make them feel better and you ended up inadvertently hurting them. Also, in the bathroom, I think that just make sure that you've got a toilet paper dispenser that's close to them, where they can reach it, and then keeping a set of moist wipes there that are flushable in case they forget and inadvertently flush that. You just want to make sure that they're biodegradable so that they can use that in case they don't have good reach. I've seen some great bathroom bidets that you can add to your toilet. So if your person has a problem with their maneuvering and their function of their upper body, you can add that to help them clean their backsides so that they're not asking for that help. Moving on to your living room, some things that you can do: large button TV remotes, or TV remotes that are limited with how many things that they have on them, such as just an up and down volume, an up and down channel, power on, power off. I personally think that those are great remotes. If you look at some of the remotes that even like Comcast, their remote is so complex. It's got 82 different buttons. I never know what I'm pushing. My family's constantly mad at me because I'm fast forwarding through a movie when I should have been pausing. So simple, large button remotes are great. They make the old-fashioned telephone with the buttons on it, putting your loved one's picture in that place where they don't have to dial a number and they can just push that out of memory to call you or anybody else that they need to get in touch with. Also in your living room, I think adding touch lamps where they don't have to pull or twist to turn lamps on, those are great. That's something that I personally would have never thought of, but somebody brought that to my attention after last week's live. I've seen these super cool little bean bags that you can purchase, and these bean bags are kind of like a lap buddy. And you can set that beanbag on your person, like if they like to read a book or they like to do any sort of crafting, this little beanbag, they sit on their lap and they put whatever it is that they're doing. So for the person that I was visiting that day, they were reading their book and their hands were a little bit shaky, but they could still turn their pages. So they set their book inside of this beanbag and it held it in perfect position for them to be able to read it. I think that couch side tables on wheels are great. If you can put little side bags on the side to keep all of their items close, their remote control, maybe a couple of easy potable snacks that they can carry around with them, or, grab super quickly if you're not going to be in the room. Put some Kleenex, put the basic essentials right inside there. Those bedside tables moved out to the living room make great additions to help keep your person independent. In the bedroom, I think that reading rests are a great item to add to your bed, basically for arms to be able to steady and hold a book. Button and zipper hooks. They make these nice little gadgets that you can actually take and pinch the clip on the end, grab the zipper and pull so that it's not a tiny little zipper. So even if your person needs help getting that on their zipper and then holding the handle and pulling the zipper up themselves, I think that's a great addition to help maintaining independence, as well as going back to those slip-on shoes. Slip-on shoes, Velcro shoes, shoes that have elastic laces that you just pull and they go around the foot tight. I think that those are great. Recently, I've seen something called a sit and slide sheet. Another great addition to the bedroom. Basically, you put that down over your sheet, and if your loved one has a lot of mobility issues, excuse me, you can use that so that they can climb in and out of bed, lay on that sheet, and if you need to scooch them to the side of the bed, you're not pulling them and risking causing some shearing on their backside or on their bony prominences, but you can pull that sheet to the side of the bed. Even if you needed help getting them up, you could grab the two sides of that pull sheet or that sit and slide sheet and pull them up and help them get sitting to the side of the bed. I've also seen something called an adjustable backrest. It basically looks like an outdoor lawn chair that you can add to your bed, and it hooks underneath the backboard and it adjusts up and down so that your person can have a little bit of elevation in the way that they're sitting. So I think that that's great also. Long handle shoehorns. I think these are a huge asset. I think shoehorns are definitely underrated. My son loves a shoehorn, but one with a long handle seems to be better than those that have a short handle, or they're going to have to bend way down there and are at risk from tipping side to side. Moving on to the garage. If your person is still capable of getting in the car with you and going out and going to different places, number one, I think that having a fold away light wheelchair is a great asset. You can ask your doctor to prescribe a fold away light. It's light enough that even I can lift it into the back of a car. And, it's nice because it's a little bit smaller. So having that in the back of your car in case your person gets tired while you're out and about. A seatbelt helper. These are great little things. You can make them yourself. I know that they do sell them at a bunch of different places, but you could basically make this yourself. So basically what you do is you create a loop of fabric and you put that fabric around your seatbelt, kind of make a knot to it so that in case it's hard to get so far behind themselves to grab the seatbelt that they can pull this knot down and take it to where the belt clips in. A car mobility grab bar, those are great. I just saw one of those last year for the first time. They basically hook into where your car door latches, and they hook in there fairly tightly, but it also makes a grab bar for your person getting in and out of the car if they need to. I think that that is a fabulous thing to have. Also a handy handle, two-sided, basically so that when your person is in the car and they're seated, there's a set of handles this way and a set of handles this way. So you're not, again, pulling your person by the shoulders. If they're frail and they're thin, pulling them from their shoulders is probably the worst thing that you could do, because you're going to yank their shoulders forward. And if they're fragile, that's just not something that you want to do. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that in the bedroom, I think a really good thing to have in there also is a adjustable bed rail. So going back to the bedroom, adding an adjustable bed rail to the side of the bed, not like what you would give a toddler, those really long rails, but you can actually get from a durable medical equipment place. You can get rails that are called half rails, tuck them in underneath the mattress, and it's just a little side rail so that if your person is having trouble turning over, that they can grab that side rail, that half rail, and pull themselves back and forth. So those are some things that I have found when I'm working out in the field or when I've been working with families. Those are some things that I have found useful. If there's anything that you're using in your home that you think would be useful for somebody else, or something that I didn't mention, please drop it in the comments below. I'll share that out. I'll talk about it next week, and we can all learn from each other. I hope that you have a great weekend, and I hope that you're doing well. Any questions, pop them below. We'll see you next week.